With Rift going free to play, I decided to finally make a healing tutorial. Now in this video, I'm going to be focusing on playstyle. I've broken it down into 6 different areas, and each area I'll throw in a clip and kind of talk about it. They might not all be entertaining, but hopefully they'll at least be informative. The first is macros, keybinds, and layout. Second, positioning. Third, CD management. Fourth, cleansing. Fifth, who to heal. And finally, sixth, protecting yourself. What I'm going to talk about is macros, keybinds, and layout. Now, as you can see, there's quite a few macros on my bar. They're pretty much all cast at self macros so that I can target somebody else and still heal myself. This makes it very useful when you're getting focused, but you also want to heal somebody else at the same time. The only other macro that I really use that isn't just cast itself is a healing breath with healing flare also macroed into it, so I can kind of spam it and it'll just hit both of them. Now for keybinds, my movement keys are A and D, just strafe right and left. Other than that, everything else on my keyboard is bound to, an ability. So W, I use that. To move forward, I'll either hold both mouse buttons down if I'm just kind of moving somewhere slowly, or I'll press R down, which is my auto run. For layout, my layout's pretty simple. The only difference is that my party frames are directly in the center of my screen, and that just makes it easier to hit different people quick and pay attention to them. I also have my target right next to where the party frames are, so I can see that easily, and then my focus is right above it, so I can pay attention to everything really easily. I know it looks cluttered, but as a healer, I'm paying attention to my party frames and then pretty much my map. And the second category I'm going to talk about is positioning, which I find might be the most important category for healers. Now, when I'm healing, I kind of think of it as a giant game of Frogger, where I'm hopping from pillar to pillar as safe as possible, trying to avoid getting killed. Now in this clip, I'm in a lib, and I'm kind of just bouncing between pillars, trying to avoid DPS as much as possible. Now I kind of strafe back and forth a lot, and that's to blow my GCD and then get back at a LOS from the DPS. Because any good DPS will tell you if they see a healer out in the open, they're going to go for them. Now at this point, an MM comes from behind, and I kind of try to pull them back into my group so that I'm safe again. Whenever I see someone come around, I'm going to try to go to the opposite side so that they have to run through my group to come get me. Right now, my team's pretty safe and we're doing well. But once I see them coming up from the bottom, I'm going to go shift to the side. This way, my entire team is an LOS of me, but their entire team cannot touch me. This allows me to free cast easily, and if anybody from their team wants to come get me, they're going to have to get out of the LOS of their healers, so it makes it better for our team. Eventually you see a warrior kind of jump up over the side to come attack me. Now as soon as this happens, I'm just going to run to this pillar and maintain a safe distance. Now if he wants to come get me, he's going to have to LOS his healers, and hopefully my DPS can burn him down. My main goal is to position myself so that my DPS can help me as much as possible, because although I'm not squishy, I can't kill people that are on me. So I'm really relying on my DPS, and I want to put them in the best position to help me. The third category I'm going to talk about is CD management. Now, unlike DPS, using CDs on a healer is very reactionary. You don't really know when you're going to have to use them, you just have to be prepared at all times. Now, when playing Sentinel, I have a ton of CDs at my disposal, so I try to space them out, but a lot of times I kind of have to use them in clumps, depending on how much damage is getting on me. In this clip, I have 2 warriors chasing me around the map. I'm pretty sure I'm marked, as I've been doing quite a few warfronts in this bracket. So my main goal is to try to time my CDs when they burst. And a lot of times when in a warfront, you're going to use your CDs depending on what's going on. A lot of times if you're not getting focused, you'll use your CDs to heal your DPS, but if you are getting focused like I am now, I have to use them to heal myself. Now luckily, I'm able to keep myself alive by just timing CDs and saving my second break free for when they stun me. Eventually my team comes to save me, and I live. But CDs are kind of up. There's no real way to use them. You kind of have to just use them at your own discretion, and don't be afraid to use them, especially if they're going to save someone's life. The fourth category I'm going to talk about is cleansing. Now, unfortunately, I didn't run into a Dom when I was queuing yesterday, but I threw this clip in instead, and it's me just kind of jumping off the edge of Catherine Ridge and escaping back to my team. Now, when talking about cleansing, it's much more to know what to cleanse rather than cleansing everything in general. When I'm healing, mostly what I'm looking for is anything a Dom's going to throw on someone that leads me to believe that they're then going to throw on, Mass Betrayal, TI, Transference, or Storm Shackle. It's very useful to get yourself used to knowing what these debuffs look like. Now, once you know what they look like, you can better cleanse them and prepare yourself. Now, when I see one of these thrown on somebody, instead of initially trying to cleanse it, I run away from them because I don't want my mana being taken away. So I usually try to position myself to the outskirts of the group so that if somebody does get hit with TI or Mass Betrayal, then I can get away and not lose any mana, and then start cleansing them. The fifth category I'm going to talk about is who to heal. Now, in this clip, I'm queued with Mired, but you don't really see me staying focused on him. I'm trying to spread my heals out as best as possible and make sure everyone's alive and at full health. This means healing people in bad specs and even tanks. I see a lot of people on the forums who say, oh, I won't heal this person because their spec sucks, or I don't want to heal that person because they don't know what they're doing and they're just standing there taking damage. Well, to me, the more people that are in front of me, the less damage that I'm taking. Now, if I let everybody in a bad spec die, chances are it's going to be me and one or two other people, and probably we're going to die very quickly. So while I might save CDs for people that I notice are doing more damage or helping me out a little bit more, I'm going to be trying to spread my heals out as best as possible and make sure everyone stays alive. The sixth and final category I'm going to talk about is protecting yourself. Now here I have two clips and I'm going to show you. This first one I'm queued with Mired, and unfortunately he dies pretty quickly off the bat as I have a warrior on me and can't get to him. Now, one of the things you'll notice as a healer is the more you play in Warfronts, the greater chance you're going to be marked. And eventually it's going to happen, and what that means is DPS are going to chase you around the entire Warfront, which, is kind of annoying at times, but it can also be fun and kind of challenging. So in this Warfront, I am marked, and I'm kind of trying to evade and keep my team alive, but I have quite a bit of DPS on top of me, and there's not a whole lot I can do. So I kind of turn it into a challenge, and I want to see how long I can survive with people on me. So I'm kind of just going back and forth. I'm using this giant pillar in Codex to kind of go from one side to another. I'll basically go to one side, use a CD and heal myself, then run to the other side. This prevents range from really positioning themselves to blow me up, and it makes melee kind of a pain in the butt too, because everyone uses Shock Pulse now, so now they actually have to get in melee range of me. So in this, I survive for a decent amount of time. My team doesn't really do a whole lot. I think we actually cap Codex, which is cool, but eventually I just get blown up and there's really nothing I can do about it. Now in the second clip, I randomly get on a team with Fluent, which is awesome, but unfortunately he's our only damage dealer. So we're kind of getting owned, and my team eventually all dies, and they all turn to try to kill me, and I'm kind of just want to see how long I can survive. So I think I got 2 warriors on me, maybe somebody else is on me, but my goal is to kind of drag them through my team, as I can see my team's coming back down, so I'm going to go behind this tree, so they're going to have to go towards my base, and then I'm going to just go up this ledge, and hopefully somebody from my team comes and helps me. And I'm kind of just blowing cooldowns when I can, and eventually Fluent gets down and he comes and helps me, and then I can survive. But it's pretty much what happens when you get marked. You're really just going to have to be creative in how you move and where you go, and kind of make it into a challenge. Don't get discouraged. You're going to die. It happens. You're a healer. DPS generally don't help you, which is a lot of times why people queue with DPS. So this concludes my healing tutorial. I hope you all enjoyed it, and if it goes over well and people enjoy it a lot, maybe I'll make a video of me doing an entire Warfront while I commentate it. But I know healing videos are pretty boring. I tried to make it as entertaining as possible. And if you happen to see a little dwarf in a pink jumpsuit named Spider Pig, please feel free to throw him a few heals here and there. Thanks a lot, guys.